Morning sunlight streams through my kitchen windows, casting long rectangles across the hardwood floor, where half-unpacked moving boxes still wait. I grip a coffee mug in one hand and sort through my mail with the other, trying to maintain some semblance of normal routine in my new home. The certified letter sits apart from the stack of junk mail and bills, its official markings making my stomach clench. When I tear open the envelope, the world stops turning. Edward and Marlene Lorne versus Arden Lorne. My coffee mug slips from numb fingers, shattering against the floor. Dark liquid seeps into the grout between tiles as my hands begin to tremble, the legal papers wavering before my eyes. The demand jumps out in stark black text: immediate transfer of property and $300,000 in damages. My own parents are suing me. 2 weeks earlier, I had stood in the same kitchen signing closing papers on my $412,000 home, the first major purchase of my life. The real estate agent had beamed as she handed me the keys. "You did this completely on your own," she'd said. "That's something to be proud of." That night I'd celebrated alone with takeout Chinese and a bottle of champagne I'd been saving since my promotion last year. I wandered through empty rooms, mentally placing furniture I'd carefully budgeted for, mapping out each space that was finally, irrevocably mine. "Look at this, Grandpa," I'd said later during our video call, panning my phone around the living room. "I did it." His eyes had welled up with pride. "You sure did, sweetheart. You sure did." The first sign that something was wrong came immediately after I announced the purchase. My parents' faces on FaceTime were tight, uncomfortable. My sister Sabrina hovered in their living room behind them, designer purse dangling from her arm. "How many bedrooms?" Mom had asked, her smile brittle. "3, I'd answered, "and a nice yard." "That's quite a purchase for someone your age," Dad said, his jaw working. Sabrina leaned into frame, her perfectly styled hair falling forward. "Must be nice to have that kind of money to throw around." Mom's eyes darted to her. "You know your sister's been having a rough time, Arden." I should have recognized the warning signs then, but nothing could have prepared me for their ambush a week later. "We need to discuss a family matter," Dad said, his face filling my phone screen, his business tone, the one he used for difficult conversations with employees. Mom dabbed at her eyes with a tissue. "We've always put family first, haven't we? Always supported each other?" "Your sister needs stability more than you do," Dad continued. "She has plans for that house, creative plans. You can keep renting." I stared at them, uncomprehending. "This is my house. I worked for it. Sabrina can earn her own." "Don't be selfish," Mom snapped. "Family helps family." The certified letter arrived the next day. As I read through the documents now, my throat closes up. Aunt Ramona's name appears as financial backer of the lawsuit. An email from Sabrina is attached as evidence claiming I stole her opportunity. The demands are spelled out in clinical legal language. Transfer of property deed to Sabrina Lorne. Continued mortgage payments for 18 months. Minus $300,000 for child-rearing costs. Written apology for damaging family trust. My hands shake as I dial my grandfather's number. He answers on the first ring. "They've gone too far this time," he says after I explain, his voice hard with anger. I spend the next hour researching attorneys, my heart sinking at retainer fees starting at $10,000. Money I don't have after the down payment and closing costs. The reality settles over me like a heavy blanket. I'll have to defend myself. That night I sit alone in my new home, surrounded by boxes I haven't had the energy to unpack. Tears threaten but don't fall. In their place, something stronger takes root: determination. They want my house? The one I spent 15 years saving for while they bankrolled Sabrina's failed ventures? The home I earned through countless overtime shifts and careful budgeting? Let them try. I stand up and walk to my bedroom window, looking out at the quiet street below. This is my home, my achievement, my line in the sand. They made their choice to attack what I've built. Now I'll make mine to defend it. Have you ever had family members try to claim what you've worked hard for? Share your experience in the comments. I spread financial documents across my dining room table, the morning sun casting shadows between stacks of bank statements and tax returns. My laptop screen glows with an open spreadsheet. 15 years of financial life reduced to columns and formulas. The numbers tell a story my family doesn't want told. Memory flashback at age 16. $5.25. Hour at Morningstar Coffee. Tips split between 3 baristas. I can still smell the burnt espresso, feel the ache in my feet after 8-hour shifts. You're missing Sabrina's Sweet 16, Mom had texted that night. The DJ cost a fortune. I'd watched the party unfold on social media between customers, my sister in a custom pink dress, surrounded by floating lanterns and a chocolate fountain. Cost, roughly 3 months of my wages. My fingers traced down a column of community college receipts. Night classes after work, textbooks bought used, careful budgeting of every meal. Dad's voice echoes from that period. An accounting certificate? It's not even a real degree. The memory of my 18th birthday surfaces not the celebration but the argument that followed. What do you mean you won't fill out the FAFSA? I'd asked, clutching university application papers. You're an adult now, Dad had said. Time to stand on your own feet. A week later, I'd found an apartment listing. $400. Month. Roaches included. The start of real independence. At the present, my phone buzzes. Mom's number. I let it go to voicemail, already knowing the script. Sweetheart. Her message quavers. We've always given you both exactly what you needed. Why are you being so difficult about this? I pull up my email, finding Dad's response to my emergency root canal 4 years ago. Figure it out. Below it, bank statements showing $2. $0 transferred to Sabrina that same week for creative supplies. My sister's Instagram feed tells its own story. Semesters abroad in Paris and Rome, funded by our parents. Art supplies that cost more than my monthly rent. Meanwhile, my student loan statements march endlessly onward, minus $47,000 in debt, every payment made alone. Don't make this harder than it needs to be, Dad's latest email warns. I delete it without responding. A new voicemail notification pops up. Aunt Ramona this time. You selfish girl, she spits. After everything this family's done for you. I research her history online, finding foreclosure records from 5 years ago, the same year she started living in Mom and Dad's guest house. The pieces click. She's not just backing their lawsuit, she's looking for her own backup plan. A quick social media search reveals Sabrina's latest crisis. Eviction notice from her creative studio apartment 3 weeks ago. The timing aligns perfectly with their lawsuit. The doorbell rings, startling me. Grandpa stands on my porch, carrying a weathered cardboard box. Thought you might need these, he says, setting it down. Inside, decades of family financial records, meticulously organized. They did the same thing to your cousin Thomas, he explains, settling into a kitchen chair. When his auto shop started turning a profit, they tried claiming he owed them for family investments. My phone lights up with a text from Thomas himself 10 minutes later. Heard about the lawsuit. They tried taking my shop when it finally got out of the red. Don't let them win. A knock at the door an hour later reveals my next-door neighbor holding a potted plant. Welcome to the neighborhood, she says warmly, despite surely having heard about the family drama. My high school boss from Morningstar Coffee emails. Remember that Employee of the Year award? Happy to be a character reference. The support strengthens me for the next wave in the days to follow. A certified letter threatening property liens, Sabrina's tearful Facebook posts about her heartless sister, and calls from my parents' country club friends about family duty. Aunt Ramona's silver Mercedes cruises past my house for the 3rd time today, her phone raised to take pictures. An hour later, my supervisor calls about an anonymous concern regarding my character. I spend my lunch break filing a motion to dismiss, using every scrap of legal knowledge gleaned from late-night research. The court clerk raises her eyebrows at my pro se filing next week. This is surprisingly thorough, she says, stamping the documents. The preliminary hearing is set for next month. I request unpaid leave from work, ignoring my boss's worried frown about personal distractions affecting performance. That evening, I sit on my new porch swing, watching the sun paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. The scene triggers a memory. Teenage me walking this same street, admiring these houses, promising myself I'd earn one someday. You're dreaming too big, Mom had said when I'd mentioned it. Maybe I was, but I did it anyway. A young family walks past, children laughing as they chase fireflies. I think about the locksmith coming tomorrow, the security system being installed next week. Not just protecting my house, but fortifying my boundaries. They say blood is thicker than water. but I'm learning that some family ties are actually chains. Sometimes love means standing firm, even when it hurts. Sometimes independence comes at a price worth paying. I gather my documents and head inside, leaving the porch light on, not for family but for the new connections I'm building, one kindness at a time. Next week, the church bulletin lies crumpled on my kitchen counter, my parents' congregation's letterhead stark against today's mail. 3 more prayer requests, expressing concern for my wayward path and hardened heart toward family. I add them to the growing pile. My phone buzzes with another social media notification. Sabrina's latest Instagram story features her tearfully holding our childhood photo album. Family means supporting each other no matter what. Broken heart family first. The timestamp shows 3 a.m., prime posting hours for maximum sympathy engagement. I pull up my financial tracking spreadsheet, the one I've maintained since that first dishwashing job at May's Diner. 15 years old, scrubbing plates until midnight while my classmates planned homecoming outfits. The memory of pruned fingers and aching feet feels fresh, along with May's gentle reminder, "You're building something, girl. Keep those records clean." Each cell tells a story. $6.25 hour times 30 hours weekly, minus bus fare. Community college tuition payments scheduled around 3 part-time jobs. The studio apartment with the leaking ceiling and the second-hand futon I'd proudly purchased for $40. "You really live like this?" Mom had asked during her only visit, eyes sweeping over my carefully arranged thrift store furniture. The spreadsheet continues. Monthly savings transfers, starting at $200, growing to $300 as my certifications brought better opportunities. Years of careful planning, every extra penny funneled toward my dream of homeownership. A knock at the door interrupts my review. Through the security camera feed, a new installation courtesy of Grandpa, I spot Mrs. Henderson from 2 doors down. "Thought you might need lunch," she says, holding up a paper bag. "And Gary's taking the 3-6 p.m. watch shift today." The neighbors have organized an informal surveillance rotation since Aunt Ramona's Mercedes became a regular fixture on our street. Their quiet support feels like a shield in the days to follow. One Tuesday afternoon, breaking news, notification, Sabrina's interview with the local paper. Sister disputes family legacy. The article features her posed artistically in her former studio apartment, surrounded by half-finished canvases. My phone rings, Thomas. "Saw the article," he says without preamble. "Got those account records you asked about? The family investment they claimed I owed? Funny how the numbers matched Aunt Ramona's foreclosure exactly." The Whole Foods automatic doors slide open, and I freeze. Sabrina stands by the organic produce, designer sunglasses perched on her head. Too late to retreat, she's spotted me. "Well, if it isn't the family traitor," she announces loudly enough for nearby shoppers to turn. I focus on selecting tomatoes, keeping my voice steady. "Hello, Sabrina. You always thought you were better than us," she hisses, stepping closer. "With your precious spreadsheets and your boring job, you know what that house could be? An amazing art cafe concept. People would love it." I meet her eyes. "And how would you handle the mortgage? Property taxes?" She waves dismissively. "Obviously that part would still be your responsibility, since you're so good with money." Her lip curls. "Unlike some of us who actually pursued our passions." "Ma'am?" The store manager appears. "Is everything all right?" Sabrina's voice rises dramatically. "My own sister, abandoning her family." I leave my cart, walking calmly toward the exit as Sabrina's performance echoes behind me. The manager catches my eye with a knowing look. We all know what's really happening here. Back home, I spread out the documents Grandpa delivered. Parents' financial records showing Sabrina's $90,000 student loans paid in full. A $25,000 business loan for her failed pottery studio. Their mortgage-free property deed. And buried in old emails, the truth. "Time to teach Arden a lesson about family obligation," Aunt Ramona wrote, "before she gets too independent." My hands shake as I compile court exhibits. The room spins slightly, too many memories crowding in. I'm 5 years old again, watching Mom remove my crayon drawing from the refrigerator. Sabrina needs space for her new watercolor. A gentle knock. Grandpa enters without waiting, carrying a weathered photo album. "Found these in the attic," he says, settling into the chair beside me. "Your grandmother kept everything." The photos tell a different story. Me at every minimum wage job, proudly holding first paychecks. A display of perfect attendance certificates. My community college graduation, Grandma beaming beside me. She saw you, Grandpa says softly. She knew what you were building. Those textbooks you thought just showed up at the campus bookstore? That was her. Tears blur my vision as I stand before the bathroom mirror, practicing my court statement. The voice that emerges sounds stronger than I feel. I am not responsible for supporting adult family members who refuse to support themselves. I straighten my blazer, purchased on sale last year, recorded meticulously in my budget. The security cameras blink steadily. Evidence binders stand ready, each document telling its own truth. Aunt Ramona's Mercedes cruises past again, but I don't flinch. Some sacrifices strengthen us even as they break our hearts. Sometimes the hardest boundaries are the ones we need most. I touch the small photo of Grandma I'll carry tomorrow, her eyes twinkling with the pride she never spoke aloud. She understood the price of independence. Now it's my turn to prove I was worth her investment. Tomorrow, I'll tell my truth. Tonight, I fortify my walls, not with brick and mortar, but with 15 years of carefully documented sacrifice and the quiet strength of those who believe in earning their own way. On the confrontation day, the courthouse steps gleam in the morning sun as I adjust my grip on the leather document case, a graduation gift from Grandma. Now carrying the weight of 15 years' receipts and records. Each step feels deliberate, grounding. The glass doors reflect my image. Navy blazer, pressed slacks, minimal jewelry, professional, prepared. A far cry from my first courthouse visit at 16, seeking work papers with trembling hands. Oh, perfect timing! Sabrina's voice rings across the marble lobby. My family forms a coordinated tableau, matching white, blood-first, t-shirts under sport coats and cardigans. Mom dabs at carefully smudged mascara while Dad's attorney arranges papers with theatrical precision. Aunt Ramona catches my eye, lips curving into a familiar smirk. Last chance to avoid embarrassing the family, dear. I keep walking, heels clicking steadily against marble. The security guard nods as I pass through the metal detector, my heart beats steady despite the weight of their stares. The courtroom feels smaller than expected. Wood panels absorb sound, creating a bubble of focused silence. I arrange my exhibits with practiced efficiency, each tab color-coded and annotated. The methodology that earned eye rolls at family dinners now serves as armor. All rise. Judge Martinez enters, her quick assessment taking in both sides. Her gaze lingers on the matching shirts before settling on the stack of motions. Interesting filing, she comments, scanning the first page. Please proceed. Dad's attorney rises, straightening his tie. Your Honor, this case centers on familial obligation and traditional values. The Lorne family invested approximately $300,000 in raising their daughter, as documented by USDA statistics. Objection. I state clearly. Irrelevant. Standard childcare costs don't create legal debt. Sustained. Judge Martinez's pen taps her notepad. Counsel, proceed with actual claims. Mom takes the stand first, tissue clutched dramatically. We sacrificed everything for our girls, private lessons, summer camps. Her voice breaks. How can she abandon us now that she's successful? I stay focused on my notes as she describes my selfish career choices, my rejection of family values. Each accusation lands softer than the last, buffered by years of documented truth. Dad testifies next, his authoritative boardroom voice filling the space. In our family, successful children support their parents. It's understood. And when was this agreement made? Judge Martinez interrupts. It's traditional, he stumbles. Implied. Your Honor, I begin my cross-examination. Did you provide similar support for Sabrina's education? Objection? Irrelevant. Their attorney stands. I'll allow it, Judge Martinez says. Answer the question. Dad shifts uncomfortably. Sabrina needed help pursuing her artistic gifts. Please review Exhibit C. I direct. Bank statements showing $90,000 in student loan payments for Sabrina's fine arts degree, plus $25,000 for her pottery studio. Sabrina's testimony comes next, tears flowing on cue. The house would be perfect for my healing art cafe concept. I'd let her keep a room, of course. And the mortgage? Judge Martinez asks. Property taxes? Well, Arden's good with money stuff. Sabrina waves dismissively. She'd handle that part. The judge's eyebrow rises. What's your current employment status? I'm between projects, Sabrina sniffs. My art requires emotional space. I stand for my testimony, spreading out 15 years of pay stubs, rent receipts, college transcripts. I began working at 15, Your Honor. Every job documented, every penny accounted for. Including parental support? The judge asks. None received. I present bank statements. I paid my own way through community college while working 3 jobs. The down payment for my house came from 15 years of careful saving. She's twisting things, Aunt Ramona bursts out. This ungrateful girl. Silence, Judge Martinez warns. She studies my documentation, then addresses my parents directly. Would you be making these demands if both daughters were struggling financially? The silence speaks volumes. I've heard enough. The judge closes her folder. This case lacks any legal merit whatsoever. Properties purchased independently remain independent. Case dismissed with prejudice. Aunt Ramona's outraged screech echoes off marble as security escorts her out. Sabrina collapses in the hallway, but the court personnel step carefully around her prone form, faces neutral. You'll regret choosing money over family, she calls after me. I pause at the courthouse doors, sunlight streaming through glass. Behind me, Mom's voice rises. How could you do this to your family? But the weight pressing against my chest for months finally lifts. Through the window, I spot Grandpa's truck idling at the curb, his steady presence a reminder that family, real family, builds you up instead of tearing you down. You okay, kid? He asks as I climb in. I watch my biological family huddled on the courthouse steps, their matching shirts a bright blur in the rearview mirror. I think I finally am. Your grandmother would be proud, he says softly. She always said you had the strength to build your own path. The familiar streets look different somehow, clearer, like after a storm. Each carefully earned mile bringing me closer to home. My home, protected now by truth and law and the quiet power of standing firm. In my pocket, the small photo of Grandma seems to warm slightly. She'd understood the price of independence, the courage required to choose yourself. Some sacrifices strengthen us, even as they break our hearts. Sometimes the hardest boundaries become our strongest foundations. The security system chimes as I enter my home, my legally protected home now. 3 days since the courtroom victory, and already the quiet feels different. Not peaceful exactly, but fortified. My phone buzzes. Another notification from Sabrina's GoFundMe. My sister stole my future. Help an artist heal. The fabricated story beneath makes my stomach clench. After supporting me through art school, my sister betrayed our family's trust. Now I'm facing homelessness while she hoards wealth in an empty house. Please help me create my healing art cafe. I screenshot it for my attorney, then silence notifications. The lies sting less than the calculated manipulation. She knows exactly how to play the victim. Did you see the email? Thomas's text appears. My cousin, usually silent on family matters, has emerged as an unexpected ally. Uncle Edward and Aunt Marlene really outdid themselves. The mass email to our extended family arrived this morning, detailing my cruel betrayal of family values and selfish materialism, each carefully crafted paragraph designed to isolate me from the wider family network. I saw it, I reply. Seems familiar? They did the same to me when my business took off. Called me ungrateful, demanded family investments. I wish I'd fought back like you did. That night, the security system chirps again. Motion detected. Through the app, I watch Aunt Ramona's Mercedes creep past my house for the 3rd time tonight. At midnight, the camera catches her approaching my front door, spray paint can glinting in the porch light. You ungrateful little. The rest is lost as she realizes she's being recorded. The paint can disappears into her designer bag as she hurries away, but not before leaving a bright red streak across my new door. The responding officer arrives quickly. We've got clear footage, he says, reviewing the video. Would you like to press charges? I think of family dinners, holiday gatherings, the complex web of loyalty and obligation. I need to file for a restraining order. Next week, the courthouse feels different now. Where fear once lived, determination takes root. The clerk processes my paperwork efficiently, eyebrows rising at the family names. Judge Martinez's courtroom again, she notes. She'll remember the context. The temporary order comes through immediately, backed by the officer's testimony and security footage. Each signature feels like both victory and loss, protecting my future while severing my past. They tried this with others. Mrs. Chen, our old neighbor, tells me over coffee. Her letter arrived yesterday, detailing 20 years of observed family dynamics. Your father demanded family support from his brother too before the cancer took him. Your aunt, she's always been jealous of your mother's marriage, you know. Uses money to control people. Grandfather fills in more gaps as we work on his truck together. Your grandmother set aside college money for both you girls, he says quietly. Your parents redirected it. Called it investing in Sabrina's gift. His hands stay steady on the wrench, but his voice carries old anger. That's why she left you the house money separately in her will. The permanent restraining order hearing arrives too quickly and not soon enough. The matching shirts are gone, replaced by subtle designer labels and practiced humility. Their new attorney speaks of reconciliation, portraying me as vindictive and unbalanced. Your Honor, I stand. Evidence organized with familiar precision. I'll let the facts speak. Security footage plays. Police reports detail workplace disruptions, my family claiming medical emergencies to bypass security, the GoFundMe screenshots, the email campaign. Enough, Judge Martinez interrupts. Restraining order granted and expanded to include digital harassment. Any violation will result in immediate consequences. That evening, the local paper runs the story. Family property lawsuit dismissed. Restraining order granted. Sabrina's GoFundMe disappears, reported for fraud. Messages trickle in from extended family. Support. Similar stories, quiet solidarity. Your cousin Rachel called. Grandfather tells me over dinner. Says she's proud of you. Others are starting to speak up about their experiences too. I watch him season his potatoes with methodical care. The same attention to detail he taught me in his garage, rebuilding engines while sharing life wisdom. Does it get easier? I ask. Choosing yourself? He sets down his fork. Sometimes family is what you build, not what you're born into. Your grandmother knew that. Why do you think she left you those tools in her will? Later, I complete my nightly security routine. Doors locked, cameras active, systems armed. The red paint is gone from the door, but its ghost remains, a reminder of boundaries earned and enforced. In my journal, words flow. I protected what I earned, but I'm mourning what never was. The family I wanted existed only in my hopes. The family I have now, the ones who choose truth over comfort, growth over control, they're the foundation for something real. My phone lights up with another text from Thomas. Dinner next week? Rachel and her kids want to meet at that new place downtown. I smile, typing back. Count me in. The security system chimes softly, all secure. Through the window, I watch the sunset paint my garden in gentle golds. Grandmother's roses, transplanted from her yard, bloom stubbornly against the fence. Some things grow stronger when forced to root deeper, finding nourishment in unexpected soil. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, but tonight, in this house I earned and defended, I am anchored in truth. Some victories carry the weight of grief, but they clear the ground for new growth, new connections, new definitions of family. I turn off the lights, leaving one on for the porch, a habit learned from grandmother. Not all traditions need to be broken. Some, like her wisdom and strength, become the foundation for building something better. The morning sun streams through my kitchen windows, catching dust motes as I measure coffee grounds, 2 scoops per cup, the way grandfather taught me. Ayer since the restraining order, and my weekends have found their rhythm. Maple's tags jingle as she trots to the back door. My rescue mutt, half golden retriever, half probably everything else, according to the shelter, has her own routine now. She knows Mrs. Chen next door will be out gardening, ready with treats and gentle conversation. Just a minute, girl. I checked the security app out of habit. The system's still active, but I've scaled back the notifications. No more midnight alerts, no more documenting every passing car. The cameras remain, silent sentinels rather than constant reminders. The workshop smell hits me as I enter the garage, sawdust and engine oil, mingled with fresh coffee. Grandfather's already here, setting up for our Sunday project. We're building a dining room table, big enough for the growing circle of people who actually want to be here. Morning, kiddo. He's arranging clamps with mathematical precision. Thought we'd finish the leg joints today. Perfect timing. I hand him his coffee, black, 2 sugars. Thomas and Rachel are bringing the kids over later. They can help sand. We work in comfortable silence, measuring twice, cutting once. Through the open garage door, I watch neighborhood children chase each other past my fence. Their parents used to hurry them along, back when the lawsuit made headlines. Now they wave, letting their kids stop to pet Maple through the slats. Saw your father yesterday, grandfather says suddenly, testing a joint's fit. At Henderson's Hardware. My hands stay steady on the wood. How'd that go? Age 10 years, I'd say. Both of them have. He adjusts his grip on the plane. Marlene was there too, kept looking at throw pillows like they held life's answers. I remember the designer pillows in their perfect house, arranged just so. The way Sabrina would rearrange them when stressed, while I tracked our family's spending in secret spreadsheets. Heard Sabrina's in Oregon now, I offer. Some artist collective. Running again. He shakes his head. Your aunt's not doing well either. Blood pressure's through the roof, according to the gossips at church. The wood grain beneath my fingers tells a clearer story. Growth rings marking seasons of plenty and want, strength built through adversity. We shape it carefully, honoring its natural character while creating something new. Later, as autumn sun warms the backyard, friends gather for what's become our tradition, the Sunday potluck. Thomas's kids chase Maple while Rachel sets up lawn games. My coworker Sarah, who stood by me through the worst of the lawsuit, arranges flowers from her garden. Hard to believe it's been a year, she says, stepping back to admire her work. A year since I bought this house. The memories surface. Empty rooms echoing with possibility, then threat. Now every space holds purpose. My home office with its promotion-worthy projects, the workshop where grandfather teaches me patience, the garden where Mrs. Chen shares her wisdom about more than just plants. Grandfather rises, tapping his glass for attention. To this home, he says simply, and the woman who built it, not just with lumber and nails, but with courage and truth. The toast ripples through my chosen family, neighbors, friends, the cousins who chose connection over convenience. Even Maple barks her approval, tail wagging as children sneak her bits of hot dog. That evening, after the dishes are done and leftovers distributed, I join grandfather on the porch swing. Maple sprawls at our feet, worn out from playing referee to the kids' soccer game. You didn't just protect your house, he says quietly. You defended your worth. Through the windows, I can see the dining room table we're building, still unfinished but already promising. Like everything worthwhile, it takes time and attention to detail. Some prices are worth paying for peace, I reply. The stars emerge as night settles, casting gentle light on my transformed home. Inside, Sarah and Rachel are setting up board games, their laughter drifting through screen doors. Thomas helps his youngest with homework at my kitchen counter. Mrs. Chen's lights glow next door, her silhouette visible as she waters her evening primrose. My phone buzzes, a text from the young analyst I'm mentoring at work. She's leaving her financially abusive marriage, needs advice on building credit. You showed me it's possible, she writes. I think of that terrified woman who first walked into Judge Martinez's courtroom, clutching papers and desperate certainty. She's still here, that core of steel strengthened by fire. But now she's surrounded by people who recognize its worth, who add their own strength to the alloy. The security system chimes softly, all secure. But the sound no longer triggers anxiety. Instead, it reminds me of boundaries earned and kept, of peace protected and shared. Maple's head lifts at approaching footsteps, just the neighbor's teenager, coming to ask if she can walk her tomorrow. Same time as usual? She calls. We're working on her leash manners. Perfect, I answer. Another small thread in the tapestry of normal life, woven from trust and consistency. Grandfather squeezes my shoulder as he heads in to claim his favorite armchair, the one we refinished together, now permanently placed in my living room. His tools live in my garage now, his wisdom in my daily choices. Inside, the game night is getting competitive. Outside, crickets tune up for their evening symphony. And here on my porch, in this space between what was and what is, I breathe in the peace I've built. Some say family is who you're born to, but I've learned it's who you choose to become, and who chooses to witness that becoming with love and respect. Every laugh from my living room, every wave from a neighbor, every shared meal and project and quiet moment, these are the true measures of home. The stars wheel overhead, constant as truth, bright as possibility. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges, But tonight, in this house I earned and shared and filled with genuine connection, I am exactly where I need to be. What defines family after all? Is it blood and obligation? Or is it the people who celebrate your growth while respecting your boundaries? In my experience, it's the latter that builds the strongest foundations. I grip my water glass too tightly as Mom slides the thick cream envelope across the dining table. The Matthews family crest is embossed in gold on the front, because heaven forbid my sister have a birthday invitation without a custom wax seal. Aren't they gorgeous? Mom beams, watching Bianca distribute the envelopes around the table. The calligrapher said it was the most elegant design she'd worked on all season. Dad clears his throat, chest puffing with pride. I secured the grand ballroom at the country club. Had to call in a favor with Jim Harrison, but for my princess turning 30, nothing but the best. Bianca squeals, flipping her perfect blonde hair over one shoulder. I've already got 150 people confirmed, and that's before sending these out. The Wilsons' daughter had 120 at her 30th, and everyone said it was the event of the year. She smirks. Until mine. I take a sip of water, letting the ice clink against my teeth. 10 years of these conversations. 10 years of watching Bianca's birthday turn into a national holiday while mine passes with a grocery store cake if I'm lucky. Mom turns to me, sliding a thick manila folder across the table, with her French manicured nails. A platinum credit card sits on top. We need you to handle everything again this year, dear. You're so good with details. The way she says it like she's bestowing a great honor instead of unpaid labor. I stare at the folder. Inside are magazine clippings, Pinterest printouts, and vendor contacts. The same folder I've received since I was 16, each year growing thicker with demands. Make sure they have that champagne fountain like the Wilsons had. Bianca interrupts, not bothering to look up from her phone. But bigger, and with the good champagne, not that cheap stuff. Dad taps the credit card. And put down the deposits with this. We'll reimburse you. Eventually. He chuckles like it's a joke we both enjoy. My fingers close around the folder. They're trembling, but no one notices. No one ever notices. I see myself at 17, canceling my sleepover to address Bianca's 21st birthday invitations. I see myself at 21, missing my own dinner reservation because Bianca's DJ canceled last minute and someone needed to find a replacement. I see myself at 24, watching my bank account drain as I covered the $4,000 flower bill that Dad promised to pay back next week. Still waiting on that reimbursement. I see my own birthdays exactly 2 weeks after Bianca's passing, in a blur of leftover decorations and distracted well wishes. We're all partied out. Mom always says, let's just do something small. Small means forgotten. Small means an afterthought text message at 9 p.m. Small means nothing at all. Kendall? Did you hear me? Mom waves her hand in front of my face. I said we need the deposits placed by Friday. Yes, I say automatically. I heard you. Later that day, in my apartment, I spread the contents of the folder across my kitchen counter. The theme is glitz and glamour because old Hollywood was too basic, according to Bianca's latest text. The budget started at $4,000 and has somehow ballooned to $6,000. My laptop sits open to my bank account. $3,207.42. My entire savings, built dollar by dollar from my administrative assistant salary. I've never celebrated a birthday properly. Not once in 26 years. My phone buzzes. Rachel, did they rope you into party planning again? My fingers hover over the keyboard. Something shifts inside me, like tectonic plates that have been grinding against each other for years, finally breaking free. Not this time. I have a different plan. I close Bianca's folder and open my laptop to a new tab. Florida beach rentals. Another tab. Flight prices to Destin. Another. Swimming with dolphins experience. My phone rings again. Bianca's face flashes on the screen, the professional headshot she made everyone use as her contact photo. I silence it and turn the phone face down. I create a new folder on my desktop labeled My Birthday. Inside, I save screenshots of beachfront houses with wide decks and ocean views, places where I could watch the sunrise with a mimosa in hand. Places where no one would ask me to make a single phone call or place a single deposit. My phone lights up again. And again. And again. I ignore it as I click Book Now on a blue bungalow with floor-to-ceiling windows and 5-star reviews. 2 weeks in paradise, spanning my 26th birthday. For the first time in years, I smile at the thought of a birthday, my birthday, and I feel something unfamiliar bloom in my chest as I enter my credit card information. It's not guilt. It's not fear. It's freedom. The next day, at the office, my phone buzzes for the 12th time this morning. I know it's either Mom or Bianca without looking. The constant vibration against my desk has become so distracting that Janet from accounting has started giving me sympathetic glances over her cubicle wall. "Kendall, your phone's having a seizure again." My boss Mark comments as he passes my desk. He pauses, noticing my tight expression. "Family stuff again?" I nod, flipping the phone over to see 15 new text messages. Mom wants to increase the head count to 175. Bianca has changed her mind on the theme from glitz and glamour to diamond elegance, whatever that means. Sorry, I'll put it on silent. I slide the phone into my drawer, but Mark's hand on my shoulder stops me. "Take 10 minutes, if you need to sort it out. Your quarterly reports are always early anyway." The moment he walks away, my phone lights up with Mom's face. I step into the break room and answer. "Kendall, darling, I've been texting you all morning," Mom says without preamble. "I need you to call the caterer immediately. We're adding 25 more guests, and Bianca wants those little lobster puffs she had at the Johnsons' anniversary." "Mom, we've already signed contracts. Adding 25 people will cost." "Money isn't the issue, dear. This is Bianca's special day." The kitchen door swings open, and Janet enters, then quickly backs out when she sees my face. I lower my voice. "The budget was already at 6,000. Who's covering the extra costs?" "Well, you can put it on that card we gave you. Your father will settle everything after." "Like last time?" The words slip out before I can stop them. Kendall Elizabeth Matthews. I don't appreciate that tone. "Oh. I almost forgot to tell you I'll be stopping by your office around lunch. I have some fabric swatches for the table linens." Before I can protest, she hangs up. I grip the edge of the counter, breathing slowly through my nose. I checked my bank account on my phone after I booked the birthday vacation. The amount that won't increase until payday next week. After the lunch break, and meeting with my mother, as she came by the office, when I returned to my desk, a wave of heat flushed up my neck. I slip away to the restroom, locking myself in a stall as my hands shake. That night, at home, I pull out old family photo albums from my closet. Page after page of Bianca's elaborate celebrations, her sweet 16 with a rented ballroom, her 21st with a hired band, her 25th with a weekend getaway for her and 20 friends. I flip through my childhood journal, the entries becoming a painful pattern. The 18th of April, STU, 2015. My 16th birthday today. Family went to Bianca's volleyball tournament. Mom said we'd celebrate next weekend but forgot. The 18th of April, 2016. No one remembered again. Dad gave me $20 when I mentioned it at dinner. The 18th of April, 2017. Rachel brought cupcakes to school. At least someone remembered. I slam the journal shut and reach for my phone, texting Rachel. "Remember that Florida trip we talked about? I have booked it for my birthday. For real this time. I've had enough." Her response comes immediately. "Finally! It's about time you did something for yourself. I'm in." For the first time in days, I smile. 2 hours and half a bottle of wine later, Rachel sits cross-legged on my living room floor, laptop balanced on her knees. "So you're really going to do this?" She gestures at my screen where the Blue Beach bungalow reservation confirmation glows. "Just disappear for your birthday and let Bianca's party crash and burn?" I nod, pulling up fake vendor contracts I've been creating all evening. I've already sent emails to my parents confirming everything's on track. They trust me completely to handle it all. God, they have no idea who they're dealing with. Rachel lifts her wine glass in a toast to the real birthday girl. The next morning at work, Michael from accounting leans against my cubicle. "Got a minute?" I follow him to the break room where he pulls out his phone. "So I heard about your Florida plan from Rachel. I have these airline miles that are about to expire. How about a first-class upgrade for the birthday girl?" Unexpected tears prick my eyes. "Michael, you don't have to." "Oh please, it's either you or my mother and she'd just complain about the champagne selection." He shows me the confirmation on his screen. Already done. That night at home, my phone buzzed with a text from Aunt Susan. "Heard you're finally doing something for your birthday. Whatever you're planning, I support you 100%. Let me know if you need anything." An hour later, Rachel, Michael, and Lisa sent me their tickets. We are all going together. The contrast between these genuine connections and my family's exploitation feels like stepping from shadow into sunlight. Friday evening. At my parents' house, I spread the fake vendor contracts across my parents' dining table, catering, decorations, entertainment, all with convincing letterheads and deposit confirmations. "We trust you completely, dear," Mom says, not bothering to look at a single page. She slides an envelope across the table. "Here's the deposit money. $2,800 should cover everything, right?" Dad nods absent-mindedly, eyes on his phone. Bianca's upset about the color scheme again. She wants silver instead of gold now. "I'll handle it," I say automatically, the phrase I've uttered thousands of times before. But this time, the words taste different on my tongue. On Monday, 3 days later, I deposited the check into my account. The teller smiles. "Saving up for something special?" I think of the ocean view from my rented bungalow, the dolphin excursion booked for my actual birthday, the first-class plane ticket waiting in my email. "Yes," I answer, feeling the unfamiliar curve of a genuine smile. Something very special, just for me. During a family dinner, or rather another ambush on Saturday that week, the dining room feels smaller than usual, like the walls are inching closer with each minute of this emergency family meeting. 2 weeks before Bianca's birthday, and we're all summoned as if discussing national security. These decorations are completely inadequate. Bianca slams her palm on a catalog page. "This is the most important day of my life. The centerpieces need to be at least twice this size." Mom nods sympathetically while Dad checks his watch. I sit quietly, making notes in my planner, while mentally confirming my flight and booking details. "We'll need to increase the budget again," Dad says, pulling out his checkbook. His eyes flick to me. "Kendall, confront the difference until we get to the bank next week." I nod, the motion automatic after years of practice. My savings account has already recovered from booking my Florida trip, thanks to my salary and a forgotten Christmas bonus I'd stashed away. "Oh," Dad says, pausing mid-signature like he's just remembered something trivial. "Isn't your birthday sometime next month too?" Before I can answer, Mom pats my hand. "We can do pizza at our house for you after Bianca's celebration dies down. Nothing fancy, but still nice." The old Kendall would have smiled gratefully. This Kendall just writes, "pizza," in all caps in her planner, and underlines it 3 times. "Thanks, Mom. That sounds perfect." The next morning, although it's Sunday, I email my boss requesting personal days, my first vacation in 2 years. "Family emergency," I write, which isn't entirely untrue. My emergency need to escape my family qualifies. On Wednesday, before the birthday party, I pack at night, when I'm sure no one will drop by unannounced. Each item feels like a small rebellion: my brightest sundress, the swimsuit I bought 3 summers ago but never wore, sunglasses too bold for practical Kendall. When Bianca texts demanding I find gold-dipped orchids for the tables, I wait 40 minutes before responding. When Mom calls about changing the menu again, I let it go to voicemail until my lunch break. Small rebellions, but they make me stand taller. The final payment for the dolphin swimming excursion hits my credit card on Thursday, scheduled perfectly for my actual birthday. I trace my finger over the confirmation email, something warm spreading through my chest. Mine. For me, finally. That night, my phone rings at 9:47 p.m. Dad's voice booms through the speaker before I can even say hello. "Emergency family meeting. Now. Bianca's having a crisis." I arrive to find Bianca pacing the living room, mascara streaking down her cheeks. 15 more people RSVP'd, yes, today. 15. Where will they sit? What will they eat? The seating chart is ruined. Mom rushes to her side with tissues while Dad turns to me, expectation heavy in his gaze. "This is what you do best, dear," Mom says. "Fix it." 3 faces stare at me. Bianca's desperate. Mom's pleading. Dad's demanding. The old Kendall would have already grabbed her laptop, already started calling vendors, already solving the problem. I take a deep breath and meet their eyes one by one. "Everything is under control. Trust me." The words hang in the room. To them, I'm promising to handle Bianca's crisis. To me, I'm confirming my escape is perfectly planned. Dad's shoulders relax. "I knew we could count on you." If only they knew. At dawn, the following day, the alarm buzzed at 3:30 a.m., but I was not sleeping. Rachel's text comes exactly 5 minutes later, Outside. Engine off. No lights. I wheel my suitcase silently down the hallway, locking my apartment door behind me. Rachel hugs me before taking my bag. Operation Birthday Girl is officially underway, she whispers, her grin visible even in the dark. The drive to the airport feels like crossing a border into a new country, one where I matter. Rachel hands me a travel mug of coffee and a birthday card signed by everyone in on the plan. At check-in, the attendant smiles. "You've been upgraded to first class, Miss Matthews." I turn to Rachel and squeeze her hand. She smiles and nods back. Aunt Susan's text arrives as I wait to board. Package delivered to rental house. Happy early birthday, sweetheart. So proud of you. The group chat with my friends buzzes with excitement. Weather forecast. Perfect. Dinner reservations confirmed. Cake ordered your favorite. When my row is called, I stand tall, boarding pass firm in my hand. As the plane doors close, I switch my phone to airplane mode, the notification count of missed calls from my family disappearing. Relief washes over me like cool water. Later that day, I step into sunshine so bright it makes me squint with Rachel. The rental car takes me along coastal roads until I pull up to a pale blue house with wide windows facing the ocean. As my friends also came with me, Rachel, Michael, and my college roommate Lisa are now on the porch, holding a banner that reads, "Happy Birthday, Kendall." The sight of it, my name in bright letters, makes my throat tight. Inside, tasteful decorations catch the sunlight. Nothing like the gaudy, excessive preparations for Bianca. Just simple, beautiful touches that show someone thought about what I would like. Rachel hands me a champagne flute. "To Kendall," she says, raising her glass, finally celebrating the birthday girl who deserves it. We clink glasses, and I look around at these people who traveled here just for me, who took days off work, who spent their money and time to make me feel special. I need to change my voicemail, I say suddenly, pulling out my phone. They watch as I record. "Hi, you've reached Kendall. I'm unavailable until further notice. Please leave a message." Unavailable. The word tastes like freedom. That evening, I walk alone on the beach as the sun sinks toward the horizon. The water rushes over my feet, then retreats, again and again. Like the years I've spent giving and retreating, giving and retreating. For the first time, I let myself feel the pain of being overlooked. Tears come hot and fast, drops of salt water joining the vast ocean before me. Footsteps approach from behind. My friends surround me, Rachel holding a chocolate cupcake with a single candle flickering in the breeze, an early celebration. "Make a wish," Lisa says softly. I close my eyes. I wish to never disappear again. The candle goes out. I open my eyes to find them all smiling at me. "I think this is the first time I've felt special on my birthday," I whisper. Michael pulls out his phone for a group selfie, the sunset painting us in gold. "Caption?" he asks, thumb hovering over the screen. I smile, feeling lighter than I have in years. Best birthday I've never had. On Bianca's birthday that Saturday, the grand ballroom of Westlake Country Club stands empty at 6:15 p.m. No twinkling fairy lights, no champagne fountain, no centerpieces with fresh roses. Just bare tables and undecorated walls. The venue manager glances at his watch, shrugging at the waitstaff who hover near the kitchen doors. At 6:27, the first guests arrive in cocktail attire. They wander through the unlocked doors, voices echoing in the cavernous space. "Is this the Matthews party?" A woman in a sequined gown asks the confused server. "No setup has been scheduled for today," he replies, checking his clipboard. "We have nothing on the calendar." By 6:45, the parking lot fills with luxury cars and confused attendees. Small clusters form as guests check their invitations, confirming the date and time. At exactly 7 o'clock, Bianca makes her entrance through the double doors. Her custom-made gold gown catches the fluorescent overhead lights as her expression transforms from regal anticipation to horror. "Where is everything?" Her voice rises sharply. "Where are the decorations? The bar? The DJ?" She spins toward our parents, who stand frozen just inside the doorway. Mom fumbles for her phone, frantically dialing the venue manager's number. "There must be some mistake," she says, voice trembling as the manager approaches. "We booked weeks ago. My daughter handled all the arrangements." "I'm sorry, Mrs. Matthews," he says, reviewing his tablet. We have no record of any reservation for tonight. Nothing has been booked, and no deposits were placed. .com. Dad steps forward, reaching for his wallet. There's been a misunderstanding. I can pay now whatever premium necessary. The manager's expression remains professionally sympathetic. Sir, we're fully booked tomorrow with a wedding. We have no staff scheduled tonight, no catering prepared, and the decorating crew isn't here. There's nothing available. As in it mind Dio. Outside in the parking lot, Bianca screams into her phone. Kendall, answer your damn phone. What have you done? Her mascara runs in black rivulets down her flushed cheeks. She stabs at the screen again and again, each call going straight to voicemail. Mom paces between confused guests, phone pressed against her ear. Kendall, this is your mother. Call me immediately. Your sister's party is. There's been some kind of, just call me back. Her voice cracks as she hangs up and immediately redials. Maybe she had an accident. Dad suggests, loosening his tie as sweat beads on his forehead. Should we call the hospitals? I posted the invitations on my story last week, Bianca wails as friends awkwardly pat her shoulder. Everyone will know my birthday was ruined. Mom gathers herself, addressing the growing crowd. We're moving the celebration to our home. Please follow us there. But guests are already drifting toward their cars, making excuses about babysitters and early morning commitments. By 8:30, Bianca sits on our parents' couch scrolling through her phone, sobbing afresh. Marissa already posted about the birthday disaster. It's all over Instagram. During that time, in Florida, I stretch out on a massage table as gentle hands work the knots from my shoulders. Ocean waves provide the soundtrack through open windows, and I haven't touched my phone in hours. Best birthday gift ever, I murmur as the masseuse works on a particularly tight spot between my shoulder blades. In the beach house kitchen, Rachel screens my messages, fielding the 20th call from my mother. Still, no answer. She tells Michael and Jen, who arrange a birthday breakfast tray with fresh fruit and mimosas. Should we show her any of these? Michael asks, holding up my phone as it buzzes again. Rachel shakes her head. Not yet. This vacation is for her only. Days later, when my actual birthday comes, at sunrise with my friends, I pose with my mimosa against the brilliant orange sky, salt spray in my hair and genuine joy on my face. Rachel captures the moment perfectly. Caption? She asks, showing me the photo. I think for a moment. 26 years later, finally celebrating ME. Hashtag my birthday my way. Within an hour, notifications flood my account. Coworkers, high school friends, and distant relatives leave comments. You go, girl. About time. Wait, isn't this when your sister's big party was supposed to be? Looking happier than I've ever seen you. Aunt Susan's comment appears prominently. So proud of you for finally putting yourself first, sweetheart. Happy birthday. Later that day, after we swam with dolphins, I switched to Bianca's profile to find a stream of sympathetic messages beneath her tearful selfie, captioned, "Worst birthday ever." Her responses reveal the truth. My selfish sister abandoned her responsibilities, and she deliberately sabotaged everything after we trusted her. By evening, I check my phone again. The notification banner shows 60 missed calls, 120 text messages, and countless social media alerts. My friends watch nervously as I scroll through the first few vicious texts from my family. Ready for birthday cake? Jen asks, sliding a small chocolate cake toward me with a single glowing candle. Michael snaps the photo, me smiling behind the flickering light, ocean sunset in the background. Caption for this one? Rachel asks. I look at the image, at the genuine happiness in my eyes. Just worth the wait. As I post it, a message notification pops up from Kelly, a girl I haven't spoken to since high school. I always wondered why your family treated you differently. Good for you, Kendall. I turn off my phone and slide it into a drawer. Let's go swimming, I suggest, rising from the table. The weight of decades lifts from my shoulders as we race toward the moonlit waves. Whatever storm awaits me back home can wait. Tonight belongs to me. The day I returned from my birthday trip, my phone buzzed to life as the plane touched down, notifications flooding in like a digital tsunami. 3 voicemails from Dad, 7 texts from Mom, and an email from Bianca with a subject line in all caps. I take a deep breath before listening to the first message. You've destroyed this family. Dad's voice trembles with rage. Come home immediately to fix this. Mom's text cuts deeper. How could you embarrass us like this? Everyone is talking. The email from Bianca contains a paragraph of accusations ending with, "You ruined the most important day of my life. I'll never forgive you." 3M. Only Aunt Susan's message offers any comfort. They're planning an ambush when you get home. Stay strong, sweetheart. You did what you needed to do. In the airport bathroom, I stare at my reflection, while Rachel's voice plays through my speakerphone. Remember why you did this. You deserve to be celebrated too. I matter too, I whisper to the mirror, shoulders squared. No more invisible daughter. I practice the words again, louder this time. An older woman at the sink beside me nods approvingly. An hour later, my Uber driver glances at me in the rearview mirror as we approach my apartment building. Whatever you're heading into, you look ready for it. I clutch my beach tote tighter. I hope so. The key turns in my lock, but the door opens before I can push it. They're already inside. Mom sits ramrod straight on my sofa. Dad paces by the window, and Bianca occupies my reading chair, eyes puffy and mascara smudged. How could you be so selfish and childish? Mom launches her attack before I've fully entered. Her voice pitches higher with each word. Dad stops pacing, hands shoved deep in his pockets. We raised you better than this, Kendall. You've always been jealous of me. Bianca's voice breaks on a theatrical sob. I set my bag down slowly, deliberately closing the door behind me. They expect me to crumple, to apologize, to beg forgiveness. I remain standing while they sit. I've been planning my sister's birthdays since I was 15. I begin, my voice steadier than I expected. I've canceled my own plans, used my savings, and spent countless hours making sure Bianca's special days were perfect. Mom opens her mouth, but I hold up my hand. I'm not finished. The words come out sharper than I intended. I pull out my phone and open my calendar app. Here are the last 11 years of our birthdays. See these highlighted dates? Those are Bianca's celebrations. Notice anything about the dates 2 weeks later? My birthdays? I turn the screen toward them. No highlights. No events. Nothing. Dad shifts uncomfortably. That's hardly the point. I've never had a birthday party. My voice doesn't waver. Not once in 26 years. This vacation with my friends was the first time anyone has ever celebrated with me. I pull out a folder organized, just like the one they've handed me for years. Here's a list of expenses I've covered for Bianca's parties. $6,000 in the last 3 years alone. Money I was promised would be reimbursed. The silence stretches between us, thick and uncomfortable. Birthdays aren't important at your age anyway, Mom finally says, waving her hand dismissively. Dad's face hardens. After all we've done for you, this is how you repay us? By humiliating your sister in front of everyone we know? You've always been the boring one, Bianca sniffs. Who would even come to your party? Their words hang in the air, revealing the truth I've always suspected but never wanted to believe. I feel something inside me snap clean, like a rubber band stretched beyond its limit. I spent my birthday with people who actually celebrate me, I say quietly. People who see me as more than just Bianca's backup plan. Mom blinks rapidly, surprised by my calm defiance. Dad's mouth opens and closes without sound. I need my apartment key back. I hold out my hand to Mom, who fumbles in her purse, suddenly unsure. From now on, my birthday will be acknowledged just like Bianca's. I keep my voice even as the key drops into my palm. Either we rebuild this relationship with mutual respect, or we don't have one at all. You can't be serious, Dad sputters. After everything. I am completely serious. I move toward the door and open it wide. I think you should leave now. They rise slowly, disbelief etched across their faces. Mom pauses in the doorway. We should discuss this when you're thinking more clearly. I've never thought more clearly in my life. I meet her gaze without flinching. One by one, they file out. Bianca throws a final glare over her shoulder. I close the door firmly behind them and slide the deadbolt into place. In the sudden quiet of my apartment, I press my back against the door and slide down until I'm sitting on the floor. My hands tremble as the adrenaline ebbs, but for the first time in years, the trembling doesn't feel like weakness. It feels like freedom. A year later, during my birthday party, the doorbell chimes as I adjust the string of twinkling lights draped across my living room. My apartment, once a utilitarian space, now bursts with colors, I've chosen vibrant yellows and coral accents that would have terrified the old Kendall. I smooth my hand over the new haircut. I finally had the courage to try shorter, with caramel highlights framing my face. Birthday girl! Rachel swoops in with a homemade cake, followed by Michael and 3 other friends. Behind them stands Aunt Susan, clutching a wrapped package tied with a satin ribbon. Look at you, Aunt Susan says, giving me a proper once-over. Standing tall, taking up space. I catch a glimpse of myself in the hallway mirror. She's right. My shoulders no longer curve inward. My smile reaches my eyes. What a difference a year makes. Rachel raises her glass, champagne catching the light. To the year Kendall found her voice, and to many more birthdays celebrated exactly as they should be. The glasses clink together in my small but tastefully decorated apartment. Pictures from Florida hang prominently on the wall, tangible proof of the moment everything changed. My therapist would call this progress. I say with a laugh that comes easily now, Doctor. Whitman helped me understand that one act of self-respect could ripple through every aspect of my life. Since standing up to my family, I've earned a promotion at work, asked for a raise, started dating again. Your mom called me yesterday, Aunt Susan says quietly, as the others chat across the room. She wanted to make sure I'd be here. The birthday card from Mom arrived 3 days ago, on time, with a handwritten note that said simply, thinking of you. Baby steps. Dad still struggles with our new dynamic. Last month he asked when I'd get over this phase. Bianca surprised me though. After 6 months of silence, she texted, Do you want to get coffee sometime? We're rebuilding on new terms. Slowly. Present time, Michael announces, piling colorfully wrapped packages on the coffee table. I unwrap each thoughtful gift books I've mentioned wanting to read. A delicate bracelet. A concert tickets. Aunt Susan hands me her package last. Inside lies a silver frame holding a faded photograph of 4-year-old me blowing out candles on a small cake. I took this before your parents decided. Bianca's celebrations should take precedence, she explains. A note tucked behind the photo reads, There was always someone who saw you. Never forget your worth. My throat tightens. I blink rapidly as I place the frame next to my Florida photos. What do you want for your next birthday? Rachel asks, refilling my glass. Just this, I answer. Presents over presents. Yesterday at work I noticed Jessica, the new hire, apologizing constantly during meetings. I invited her to lunch and shared my story. You're allowed to have opinions, I told her. You're allowed to take up space. In my nightstand drawer lies my journal entry from last week, the year I stopped disappearing. Later, after candles and cake and laughter, I stand alone on my small balcony. The Florida photos hang visibly through the window. On my refrigerator calendar, 2 birthdays are marked with equal prominence, mine and Bianca's. My phone rings. It's Mom, probably calling about the family dinner next weekend. Kendall, can you help with the decorations for your father's retirement party? You're so good with those details. I take a deep breath. No, I can't help with that. I have my own plans that day. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the permission to matter.